Welcome back to Be Feminine, the place where we decode the deep psychology of attraction and feminine behavior. Today, we're diving into one of the most painful yet powerful topics: what to do when she's not interested in you. Every man, at some point, has faced that silent sting of realizing a woman just doesn't seem to care. She stops texting first, her energy shifts, and suddenly, the connection that once felt alive feels like it's fading into nothing. But here's the truth that most men never realize. Just because she's not showing interest now doesn't mean the story is over. Attraction isn't built on chasing, it's built on mystery, distance, and self-value. When a woman loses interest, most men panic. They start doing everything that kills attraction, texting her more, trying to convince her, asking what went wrong, or showing emotional neediness. But every time you chase, you confirm her decision to lose interest. Why? Because feminine energy responds to strength, not desperation. She doesn't miss you when you're available 24/7. She misses you when your absence starts to echo louder than your presence. So what should you do instead? You stop reacting and start creating emotional space. Women notice energy more than words. When you pull your energy back, not in anger, but in calm confidence, she feels that shift. She starts to wonder why your attention disappeared. That mystery begins to stir curiosity, and curiosity is the root of attraction. Here's the secret: a woman's emotional attachment isn't triggered by what you say. It's triggered by what she feels when you're not around. If she's not interested, it's because she's emotionally comfortable. She feels she already knows how much you care. But when you withdraw that validation and focus on your own world, something powerful happens. She starts to feel uncertainty, and that's the first spark of missing you. Think about it this way. People don't crave what they have, they crave what's slipping away. When she senses that your world keeps moving without her, that you're still confident, laughing, improving, and living like she never existed, her subconscious mind begins to question her choice. She might act indifferent on the outside, but her emotions start whispering, "Why isn't he chasing me? Did he move on? Was I not special enough?" That's when the magic begins. You're no longer chasing validation, you're reclaiming your energy. You flip the power dynamic. Because when a man values himself more than he values her attention, she feels it deeply. That shift in your energy makes her feel what words never could. And that's exactly when she starts to miss you. Badly. So in this video, I'll guide you through the exact steps to make her emotionally drawn back to you, even if she's currently not interested. You'll learn how to use distance, emotional control, and subtle psychology to turn indifference into desire. Stay with me till the end, because if you understand the emotional layers behind this, you'll never have to chase a woman again. You'll simply attract her by becoming the kind of man she can't forget. When a woman seems uninterested, most men assume the only way to fix it is through more effort, more attention, more messages, more reminders that they care. But in reality, every time you reach out trying to make her feel something, you're actually removing the very tension that could have drawn her back. The truth is, attraction thrives on emotional uncertainty, that mix of comfort and curiosity that makes her wonder where she stands with you. If she knows you're still waiting, if she knows you're emotionally available at all times, she won't miss you because she has nothing to miss. To make her miss you, the first and most powerful step is emotional detachment, not in a cold or angry way, but from a place of calm strength. You stop seeking her attention and instead redirect that energy inward. You start living like your life is already full, because that's the energy that pulls her attention back. She'll subconsciously start asking herself, "Why isn't he chasing me anymore? Did I lose him? Is he seeing someone else?" And those small questions slowly awaken her curiosity, which later turns into emotional longing. It's human psychology. We value what's rare, not what's constant. When you disappear from her emotional radar, you stop feeding her the comfort of your presence. That absence creates a small void, and whether she admits it or not, she begins to notice the silence. Maybe she scrolls through her phone, sees your name, and remembers how easily you used to reply. Now you don't. That gap between what was and what is becomes the seed of desire. Here's where many men mess it up. They think no contact is about punishment or manipulation. It's not. It's about recentering yourself emotionally. Because the truth is, if you're only doing it to get her back, she'll sense it. Women are intuitive. But if you're genuinely focused on growing, improving, and becoming more self-fulfilled, she'll feel the shift in your energy, not forced, but natural. That's when her curiosity turns into attraction again. During this phase, your focus should be on rebuilding your masculine presence. Start improving in silence physically, mentally, emotionally. Go to the gym, dress better, hang out with new people, pick up hobbies that challenge you. When your energy is centered around living fully, you automatically project confidence, the kind that women notice without a word being spoken. Remember, it's not the man who talks about his worth that attracts a woman. It's the man who embodies it. You see, emotional space doesn't make her forget you. It makes her reimagine you. While she's away, her mind begins to reconstruct an idealized version of you, one that's calm, grounded, and unaffected. That mental image becomes powerful because it's not based on logic, it's based on emotion. And emotions are what make her miss you deeply. So, instead of asking, "How can I make her care again?" ask, "What version of myself would she never want to lose?" That's your focus. Because once you evolve into that version, she will sense it, even from a distance. Your silence, your absence, your focus, all of it, begins to speak louder than any words could. And the woman who once seemed uninterested slowly finds herself thinking about you, missing you, and wondering if she made a mistake by letting you go. That's the quiet power of emotional control, when you stop chasing what's leaving and start becoming what's unforgettable.
Now that you've pulled back your energy and created emotional distance, the next phase is about reigniting emotional value, reminding her subconscious of what made her drawn to you in the first place, but without saying a single word. When a woman starts to sense your absence, her curiosity awakens. But curiosity alone doesn't make her miss you deeply. What truly makes her miss you is when she begins to emotionally compare her current reality without you to the version of her life when you were around. And that comparison always begins when she sees your growth.
You see, attraction is emotional, but reattraction is psychological. When you step away and start evolving, quietly becoming more composed, disciplined, and confident, it sends a subconscious message. You're no longer the man she thought she had figured out. That mystery unsettles her emotional equilibrium. She may tell herself she's moved on, but when she sees that glow up, that calm confidence, that subtle smile that says, "I'm at peace," something inside her begins to shift. She starts to feel a mix of admiration and nostalgia, the two most powerful emotions that create longing. So how do you express this transformation without saying a word? Through your energy and presentation. Post subtle updates that show progress, not desperation. A gym selfie? Fine, but not posed or attention-seeking. Maybe a quiet photo of you reading, hiking, laughing with friends, or focused on something you love. What you're doing here is painting an emotional picture that says, "My life didn't stop when you left, it got better." And believe me, women always notice when your energy changes. Even if she doesn't text, she'll check your profile, ask mutual friends, or scroll through your old messages, trying to understand what shifted. When you stop chasing, she starts observing. When you stop talking, she starts listening. That's the paradox of emotional attraction. Silence speaks the loudest. But here's the key. Don't try to act like you don't care. Indifference can feel fake. What you want is detached confidence, a calm presence that says, I'm okay either way. Women can sense when a man is pretending versus when he's genuinely at peace. True detachment isn't about pushing her away. It's about being so emotionally grounded that her approval no longer defines you. That level of self-possession radiates quiet power, and that power is deeply magnetic to feminine energy. Remember this. When she was pulling away, she didn't lose interest in you. She lost interest in the energy you were giving off. Maybe you became too available, too predictable, too emotionally transparent. Now, when you shift that energy back toward yourself, you restore the polarity. That tension between your masculine stillness and her emotional curiosity creates a new form of attraction, one built not on effort, but on essence.
And that's when she begins to miss you badly. Not because you said anything special or did anything dramatic, but because your silence gave her space to feel. Space to realize that your energy was something rare, something she took for granted. She'll start thinking about random moments with you, replaying your words, your laughter, the way you made her feel safe, yet challenged. That emotional replay is her subconscious saying, I miss him. When a woman feels that not just thinks it, but feels it, she's no longer in control of her emotions. You are. And that's how attraction truly works, not by force, not by manipulation, but through self-mastery.
Now that she's beginning to feel your absence and sense your emotional strength, the next step is to maintain your power, because this is where most men slip back into the same patterns that made her lose interest in the first place. When she starts showing small signs, maybe a random like on your story, a "Hey, how have you been?" message, or a casual comment, it's tempting to jump in too quickly. But remember, if she's reaching out, it's not an invitation to pour your heart out again. It's her testing the waters to see if the old version of you still exists. At this stage, what you need to master is emotional patience. When a woman comes back after losing interest, she's not doing it because she suddenly fell in love again. She's doing it because your absence created an emotional imbalance in her world. She's trying to restore that comfort by checking whether she still has emotional access to you. And your response here decides everything. If you reply instantly, with too much emotion or eagerness, you confirm her subconscious belief that she still has you wrapped around her finger. But if you respond calmly, warmly, and confidently without rushing to please her, you send a very different signal. It says, I've evolved. I'm not waiting around, but I'm not bitter either. That mix of kindness and detachment makes her feel something she can't easily describe: a pull. She starts to miss the emotional certainty you used to give her, but now it's gone, and she doesn't know how to get it back. That's how real attraction rebuilds through controlled scarcity. When something rare gives just a glimpse of attention, it becomes even more valuable. You're no longer chasing validation. You're allowing her to re-earn your attention through effort. And that subtle shift reverses the entire dynamic. She becomes the one wondering what you're thinking, whether you've moved on, and if she still matters to you. But here's something most men don't understand. Making a woman miss you isn't about playing games. It's about respecting your worth. You're not punishing her for losing interest. You're simply choosing not to overinvest in someone who's unsure about you. When she senses that emotional maturity, it commands respect. Because deep down, every woman is drawn to a man who can remain grounded no matter how emotional things get. So when she starts reappearing, keep things light, controlled, and mysterious. Respond when you feel like it, not when you're desperate to. Keep your tone neutral but warm. Focus on your life, your goals, your peace. When she sees that your happiness no longer depends on her attention, she'll start to crave it. And the more she craves your validation, the more emotionally invested she becomes again. At this point, you've shifted from being the one chasing love to being the one chosen because of your energy. Women don't fall for words. They fall for how you make them feel. When you radiate peace, purpose, and confidence, you create emotional gravity, the kind that silently pulls her toward you no matter how far she's gone. And here's the final truth. When you truly stop trying to make her miss you, that's when she does. Because what women miss the most isn't your presence, it's the emotional experience they had when they were around you. When you become whole again, grounded, self-assured, she can feel it. And that feeling makes her realize something powerful. You never needed her to feel complete, but now she needs you to feel that way. This final part is about mastering emotional influence, understanding how to maintain the power you've gained, not just to make her miss you, but to become the kind of man women naturally desire, respect, and chase. Because when you've reached this stage, the goal is no longer about her, it's about you. The truth is, making a woman miss you isn't about tricks or timing. It's about becoming emotionally magnetic. And magnetism comes from being the kind of man who doesn't beg for connection, he creates it through his presence. You see, when you stop chasing women who aren't interested, you shift from scarcity to abundance. You stop operating from fear, fear of losing her, fear of being alone, fear of not being enough. Instead, you start leading with power, with self-respect. That's the kind of energy that makes women curious, even if they once dismissed you. Because women are not drawn to men who seek their validation. They're drawn to men who validate themselves. At this point, she might start showing more obvious signs. Maybe she texts more often, asks indirect questions about your life, or tries to bring up old memories. This is her emotional mind trying to reconnect to the feeling she once had with you. She's testing whether that energy is still available, and when she realizes it's not as accessible as before, she starts feeling something deeper. Desire mixed with regret. That's when she misses you, not just out of curiosity, but out of genuine longing. But here's the golden rule. Don't fall back into the old emotional rhythm. Don't start giving her the version of you that was too available, too reactive, too eager to please. Instead, continue being the calm, centered version of yourself. Let her come to you naturally. And when she does, don't rush to win her back. Let her re-experience you, the evolved version, who no longer needs her attention to feel powerful. That emotional maturity is what makes her feel safe, fascinated, and drawn in again. And if she doesn't come back, you still win. Because by doing all of this, you've elevated yourself. You've reclaimed your masculine energy, your peace, your emotional control. You've learned how to lead your own emotions instead of being led by them. That lesson will serve you far beyond one relationship. It will change the way every woman perceives you from now on. Understand this. The moment you stopped chasing her was the moment you stopped losing her. Because women never truly miss the man who needs them, they miss the man who inspires them. The one who made them feel something deep, mysterious, and safe all at once. When you embody that, even if she's not around, she'll still feel you in her thoughts, in her emotions, in her quiet moments. That's what emotional presence really means. So, if she's not interested right now, don't try to fix it. Don't beg. Don't explain. Just rise. Improve yourself silently. Build your peace, your body, your purpose, your confidence. Because when you do that, she'll notice. They always do. And even if she never says it out loud, she'll feel that tug, that soft ache that whispers, "I shouldn't have let him go." And that's how you make a woman miss you badly, not through words, not through games, but by becoming unforgettable. This is Be Feminine, reminding you that real attraction begins the moment you stop chasing and start becoming. Because when you master your emotions, you master her attention effortlessly.